Her name is Bimbo, a broadcast professional for over 4 decades, dedicating about 20 of those years to training broadcasters, executives, diplomats, teachers, and corporate clients in the area of presentation, communication, and public speaking skills. She's also a social activist. She has served her community through her NGO, the Women's Optimum Development Foundation, WODEF, and has chaired several development initiatives and institutions across Nigeria to address the challenges faced by women and girls in our society. This is The Gallery, a woman's perspective. I am Shiju Alabi. When we talk about women in media, our guest on the show is a household name. She is a beacon of hope to many women in the media space, and I'm talking about thoroughbred professionals. It's a great pleasure to have my role model in the house, the ever pleasant Mrs. Bimbo Oloyede. You're welcome. Wow, I'm now having jitters. My role model sitting right there. For those that didn't know, you gave people like me the belief that we can do it. And seeing you so many years ago, you gave me hope that I can actually be an excellent broadcaster. Thank you, ma. The opportunity to say thank you. And you're welcome to the show. Women in media. Now, what was it like in your time?
That's a big question, and going back many years too. But first of all, let me also say thank you very much for inviting me onto the gallery. It's my pleasure to be here. What was it like in our time? I think it was exciting because it was new. New in the sense that when I first started out as a broadcaster, that is somebody before the camera, in front of the camera, if you will, there weren't many of us. And when I say us, I mean women. There weren't many females who were news anchors, especially nationwide news anchors, or in those days, well, even now, it's actually still called network news. So it was new, it was exciting, it was fun, it was hard work, but we enjoyed it.
Great. Now, I mean, this is a show to give hope also and information, you know, to women, and would like to know, at your time or during your time, did you have any female role models?
Within the broadcast industry, I think the person actually who gave me the opportunity, and I say that advisedly because she was our controller of programs at the time. She was actually a member of staff of Radio House. She was from NBC Radio, but she was seconded to NBC TV as it was then. She was the controller of programs. And
I'm sure many of those listening to you didn't even remember NBC.
Well, it was a very long time ago.
Yes.
And she had an air about her. She had this confidence that she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew what she was talking about. She knew what she wanted, and she always got results. She had a way of encouraging people in a firm manner, but at the same time, it was pleasant. I'm talking about the late Mrs. Eno Iruku.
Wow.
Yes, she really was a role model to me. She was encouraging. She was friendly, and you never had this idea that she was the big boss. She was, but you didn't know that she was because of her attitude, if you like, the way she...
Unassuming.
She was unassuming, very unassuming. And she was somebody that was also very disciplined, very, very disciplined. In fact, I can remember a few years ago talking with somebody. Of course, if I mention his name, everybody will know who I'm talking about. But he told me that there was a time that Mrs. Iruku was ill. She was in a hospital. She was in the UK. And she had difficulty moving her right hand and right arm because she's right-handed, okay? And he told me that when he went to visit her in hospital, she was writing a book and she was pressing the keys of the computer with her left hand. That's the kind of discipline that that lady had. That's the kind of determination that she had. And so if she set high standards for people, she set, the standards she set for herself were no less. So she really was, within the industry, for me, she was my role model.
Yeah, because now you've just used a very crucial word there, standards. You find out that standards have actually dropped. But before we go there, let me now ask this. Please hold that. I'm going to have you talk about standards as we're having this conversation. When young female broadcasters now come to you, now you're on the other side. Now you are the mentor.
Yes, yes.
What do you tell aspiring or already established female broadcasters in how to push their career to, you know,
the next
optimum level?
I think one of the main things that I try to get across to them is that they shouldn't get carried away with the nature of the job that they do. The fact that you go to places and you're recognized means only just that. I'm not saying that the recognition of members of the public is something to be trifled with. But what I am saying is that young broadcasters should not allow that recognition to go to their heads. Because when somebody says, oh, I'm so happy to see you, they may have respect, they may be happy to see you, and usually they are, but did they go a step further? Did they say, oh, that program that you presented the other day,
was nice,
I loved the way you did this, or I did not like this, or I wish you had asked such and such a question. Now, that, to me, is beyond recognition.
Wow.
That is now involvement in what you're doing. So if you get too carried away and excited by the fact that you have been recognized, you don't even give that person an opportunity to teach you a bit more about your job, because really that's what they're doing. It's a learning experience. So if you feel that because people recognize you, it means that, you know, you are
a star.
You are a star. You have arrived. You know,
exactly.
Unfortunately,
yes.
you're cutting short that which you could have gained.
So always, you know, because we're not, as a people, we don't like taking criticism very positively.
Well, yes, I think to some extent you're right. But I always tell my colleagues that they should actually ask for that criticism. Because if you just keep on doing the same thing over and over again, thinking, you know, oh, I'm doing this in a fantastic way, again, the opportunity to improve, you're denying yourself of that opportunity. Now, I know that there are some people, generally, you know, not just broadcasters, as you have said, who do not like to be criticized. But in this particular type of job, it is the criticism that actually helps you improve.
Absolutely.
It is. But it has to be constructive, though.
Yes.
Yes. We don't want people just being spiteful and nasty.
Yes.
But constructive criticism.
Yes.
Oh, I don't think you can't beat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did tell you, well, before we came on the show, about one of my ogas then who criticized me, and what he did actually made me a better broadcaster, because at the end of the day, it paid off. You know,
yes,
it was to my benefit.
Absolutely.
And I wish broadcasters now would actually take criticisms as something for them to help them be better.
Yes.
And become better broadcasters or professionals, as the case may be, rather than see it as she doesn't like me, he doesn't like me, and all that.
No,
So,
I don't. It should really not be looked at as something that is personal. It is a prop, an aid. You know, it's a way of helping you improve. And let's face it, whatever it is that you know and learn, nobody can take it away from you.
nobody can take it away. All this cannot have come without challenges. Can you share some of your challenges while you were, active in broadcasting?
I think that the different roles that we play within the broadcasting space, I think the roles themselves bring various challenges. Now, I was a news anchor, and I was taught that
I like the sound of that. Anchor. And not anchor.
enough said. Yes, well, I was taught that that the news anchor should deliver the news and not be the news. You see, if you live a kind of life that always puts you or keeps you in the public eye for a variety of reasons, rather than the reason of the job that you're doing, I think it could send out mixed signals. So sometimes it's a challenge. There are places that you're invited to that you would love to go to. I mean, we all want to let our hair down from time to time. But I always had it at the back of my mind that if I'm caught on camera, for instance, doing this or doing that or behaving in this way or that way, and the same person who sees me on camera or who even sees me live in that particular place or at that particular event now comes to watch me on the news, what will go through the mind of that viewer? Will he or she see me as the way I portrayed myself, letting my hair down, or will he or she see me as a news anchor delivering information that is supposed to educate, inform, sometimes entertain, etc., etc.?
Yeah, but we're human beings.
Yes, we are. We are. But then we also have a job to do. And I think it is a choice that we have to make.
Okay.
I know that we don't do the same kind of thing as a judge, but judges also are given certain rules and regulations. There are things that they're expected to do. There are places that they're expected to be seen and places that they are not expected to be seen.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we are not judges, quite all right, but then we are impartial custodians of information.
Absolutely.
And so it is not in our interest, neither is it in the interest of the information, neither is it in the interest of the organization that we represent.
Absolutely.
If we present ourselves as having...
As tacky.
Well, not just tacky, but even as having maybe 2 or 3 different characters. So everything about the news is credibility. And so if we want to give a performance that is credible, then we really can't afford to suggest this, that, or the other.
We must stay true
about ourselves. We have to stay true to the position
core.
and to the call. Yes.
Absolutely. Excellent. Because you're just kind of starting to move towards this concern of mine, which is, what worries you most? And that is where the standards thing we started before is going to come in now. What worries you most when you watch the media and broadcast space, particularly in terms of elocution, in terms of presentation, and in terms of programming?
Elocution, I have a feeling that a lot of young broadcasters these days, actually not just in Nigeria, but quite a few people that I've listened to, I have this feeling that they don't think that elocution is important. Or they think that if you try to speak, shall I say, good English or acceptable English, that it somehow makes you seem too formal, too cold, not with it, which is, I suppose, an old-fashioned word or term, but not modern somehow. I get the impression that they sometimes feel that to be modern and to be relevant, you know, you have to be a little bit, I don't want to use the word careless, but you have to give the impression that you're carefree, that you sound carefree. And that has its own place in certain types of programs. But when it comes to formal programs, maybe some types of interview programs, certainly the news, I think the standards need to be upheld. Yes.
So
Now, you spoke about presentation. Again, I think that there are some rules and regulations. I'm not sure that all the entrants into radio and TV presentation are aware of the rules and regulations. I'm not sure that they have been trained to understand that there are do's and there are don'ts. Because when I listen and when I watch, well, a friend of mine, a friend of mine who retired from a radio station as a very senior member of staff, she told me that there was a day she was driving and somebody came on the radio and said, okay, hello everybody, good afternoon, welcome to the program. What shall we talk about today? And she said she almost, she almost had an accident contemplating that how could a presenter
I don't know what to talk about.
Come on air and ask, in the first instance, who is she asking, what shall we talk about today?
Oh my.
So there are do's and don'ts about, you know, presentation, which I think we should try to live by, okay? What was the third one you said? You mentioned
Elocution, presentation, programming.
And programming. Okay. Programming, I think, sometimes becomes a little dull. There are times when I watch programs and I say to myself, this looks like a radio program in front of a camera. Because I'm not really seeing the kind of visuals that I think should go with this type of program. It's not every interview session that requires visuals, but there are some. If, for instance, you're having a discussion about the environment, then let us see aspects of the environment. We don't just want to hear, because you said it's a TV program, right? Now, if it's radio, of course, it's
all
different.
All we do is hear.
I know all we do is hear, but you see, it then becomes the responsibility of the presenter to paint the picture with the words that are being used. So when we talk about speaking English,
yes,
and we talk about vocabulary,
even the use of it,
improving your vocabulary, yes, we talk about diction, which is not about how you speak, but it's about the words that you use, right? So these are the kind of things that I feel that a lot of young people are probably not aware of, or even if they have been told, they don't think it's important. I don't know. And yet, you know, you expect that people watching and listening should actually learn.
I agree with you. More to come shortly. Let's take time to check the etiquette corner.
Ibukunoluwa Abiodun Awoshika, born Bilkisu Abiodun Motunrayo Omobolanle Adekola, is a Nigerian businesswoman, a mother, an actress, motivational speaker, and an author. She currently serves as chairman of First Bank of Nigeria. Mrs. Awoshika is a graduate of chemistry from the University of Ife, Nigeria, an alumna of the Chief Executive Program of Lagos Business School, the Global Executive MBA of IESE Business School, Barcelona, Spain, and Global CEO Program of Wharton, IESE, and CEIBS Business Schools. As a fellow of the African Leadership Initiative, Aspen Global Leadership Network, Institute of Directors, and Society for Corporate Governance Nigeria, Mrs. Awoshika, through her project, aspires to use her opportunities in life to further the greatness of her dear country by raising entrepreneurs to create jobs for the large unemployed youthful population. She is a member of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, NESG, served on National Job Creation Committee, NCJC, and sits on the International Advisory Board of IESE Business School, Barcelona, Spain.
Trends is up next. Trust you've had an enjoyable experience on the show as much as I have. Let's do this same time next week. I am Shiju Alabi. Bye for now.